We read earlier that the federal government has given explanation as to a particular video that circulated online, a video showing that the Kainji Dam was spilling over, and so we have, of course, the management of the Mainstream Energy Solutions have given explanation on that. We have him joining us now, the CEO joining us further to discuss about the development. Is the Managing Director, Mainstream Energy Solutions Limited, is Audu. It's good to have you join us on this very particular issue where a lot of persons had been, of course, disturbed seeing that video that circulated online. We all know that it is false. Can you help us understand what actually happened and how it was brought under control?
Thank you very much for having me. It was actually very unfortunate that news media could just be so sensational as to give out such a very serious news to the Nigerian public and in fact the international community about the breaching of Kainji Dam. No responsible person can ever wish this for his country. It was absolutely a false news. I want to state clearly here that Kainji Dam is very safe. We are operating normally, including the cascaded hydropower plant that is downstream of Kainji, which is Jaba Hydro Plant. Since we took over as managers of Kainji and Jaba Hydropower Plant, Mainstream Energy Solutions have actually reviewed and upgraded all the safety procedure and rehabilitated all necessary equipment for the safety of the asset, including the machines and the dam structure. I want to tell you that as we speak today, yes, one thing I want to state is that the flood this year is unprecedented. I think River Niger, from the records we have, had never experienced such flood in the last 100 years. The nearest one we had was in 2018, where we had a total inflow of 5,000 cubic meters per second. This year, we have reached an inflow of 10,000 against what we had in September 2018. This morning, that's today, the inflow was 10,000 cubic meters per second, which happens to be the highest. But that not to say that the dam is under any threat whatsoever. The only caution I would want to call on the riparian communities, that the communities downstream of our facilities to move away from the floodplain because of the rise in water level. Otherwise, I want to state clearly that Kainji Dam is safe and no cause for alarm whatsoever. I've seen the picture being circulated. It's not of Kainji. I don't know where they got the picture, but absolutely I can tell you that it is not Kainji or Jaba hydro power plants. It's none of our two hydro plants in operation.
Very interesting point that you have raised, and of course good clarifications for Nigerians. But let's look at how well you're using technology to monitor the levels for optimal performance, because just like you said, the floods this year are unprecedented.
Yes. When we took over for efficient management of the reservoir, and you know water is our fuel, so every drop of it means a lot to us. We ensure that we capitalize on available technology to be able to monitor the inflow into our reservoir. In that regard, we put in place what we call inflow focusing system and operational tool, which is a satellite-based system, which gives us information on the flood that is coming into our reservoir, as well as the rainfall pattern upstream of our facilities, including rainfall patterns and flood coming from across the border in Niger and Mali, and in fact including Guinea-Conakry, from where River Niger actually emanates. So we have every detailed information on rainfall pattern and the flood that is likely to empty into our reservoir. That will enable us to plan ahead, even before the flood reaches our lake. What it means is that if we know there will be heavy flood coming, we start creating space. We'll call it digging a hole. We start releasing gradual release of the water through our spillway gates, just to ensure that when the peak of the flood is with us, we will be able to accommodate it within our reservoir without any safety risk to the dam. We have also ensured that the spillway gates at both Jaba and Kainji are working optimally. They are all functioning well, and we will be able to control the flood that is coming. I want to state that dams don't actually create flood. Dams are basically put in place to manage flood, such that the flood can be managed and reduce the impact, or to mitigate the impact on downstream communities.
Managing Director, Mainstream Energy Solutions Limited, Audu, thank you so much for the clarification.
Thank you very much for having me.